Welcome to the Good Games Podcast, episode 165. This is a show where we talk about video games and gamer-related things. My name is Frank from Manso, and I'm your host. And as always, I'm joined by the co-host of the show, Alex Nunez. What's up, sir?
Not much, man. I've done the impossible. I've seen credits roll a Magikarp jump. I'm the best.
The game has an end.
It has an end.
I thought it was a type of game that just kind of just keeps going on forever.
Oh,
like
don't be confused. You can surely keep going forever if you want to, but there are credits in the game once you finish the final league. And yeah, I've seen that, and it was kind of cool. You get to see all the different generations of Magikarp that I've caught, and all the silly names that I've named all of them. It was a fun little retrospective. But yeah, I'm still kind of, I don't know, because at the end they let you basically amass as much jump power as you want. So now I'm taking that as a challenge to see how high I can go. Maybe I can make my Magikarp jump to the moon. I don't know.
Wow. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
And it's so do you use the same Magikarp throughout the entire game, or do you change Magikarp based on like stats and stuff?
Nah, you change like most of the game, because depending on your trainer rank, that determines how high of a level your Magikarp can get. And their jump power is tied directly to their level. So it's pretty much static at what jump power level is their actual, I guess, Pokemon level.
Yeah.
So once they reach the level cap based on your trainer rank, then you have to retire that Pokemon or that Magikarp and then get a new one. And then you kind of recycle that way. And that's how they get you to play forever. Because you have to slowly, well, not so slowly, but you rank up the more you play the game. And then when you rank up, you can raise Magikarp that have a higher level and then, higher jump power. And then it's just a one endless loop of trying to raise your rank so that you can have your Magikarp jump higher.
So, what about when you evolve your Magikarp into a Gyarados? Like, does the game just become like Gyarados jump? Or
no.
Is it like something different?
No, that's you're forced to retire that Pokemon because the game is Magikarp jump. It's not Gyarados jump. Gyarados don't jump. Magikarps do.
I mean, they could if they put it in the game as such.
But the whole league is centered around just Magikarp jumping. You can't just have other Pokemon in there. It's just ridiculous, Frank.
But why would they have you transform into a Gyarados then?
It was a fluke. It wasn't supposed to happen. It was an accident. See, what had happened is I accidentally broke the Everstone that my Magikarp had, and then once he hit level 20, he evolved, and I was like, no! Now I can't compete in the Magikarp jumps, and I have to get another Magikarp.
Okay, so it's not necessarily game over once you evolve your Magikarp into a Gyarados.
No, you kind of have to just get another Magikarp. One. Yep.
Okay. I'm just kind of imagining when you transform Magikarp into a Gyarados, everybody's just looking at you with shame. They're just kind of they're just shaking their heads, and they're just like, how could you? How dare you?
There's kind of a little cutscene that happens when it happens. It cuts to your character, your trainer, and he goes he calls out your Magikarp's name, and he's like, no, don't. He totally did not want that Magikarp to evolve, and there was nothing he could do to stop it at that point.
That poor Gyarados, though, it's a Pokemon, too. It needs love and affection and care. It's just, everybody's it's not a Magikarp, so we don't care.
I mean, the
ironic thing is that Magikarp is the most useless Pokemon ever, and they care more for the useless Pokemon.
That's the beautiful thing about this game, because Magikarp now finally has a purpose.
Does it?
And it can fulfill that to his dying wishes or whatever.
Does it?
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
Sure. Okay.
They seem happy jumping around and going sky high.
Well, as long as everybody's happy.
That's all that counts.
And everybody in the town, and they make a sport out of this, and that's cool. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
That's
paying attention to the little guy. I always appreciate that.
Exactly.
So, all right. Well, I just want to take this time. It might be really last minute, but I want to take this time to alert people that we are actually going to be attending J1Con this weekend. And in doing so, we are also going to be hosting one of the panels there. Yeah. And it's going to be awesome and it should be fun. And if you happen to find yourself in the area, or if you're probably already going and you happen to be listening to this show, then yeah, come check us out. We're going to go on Sunday afternoon at like 1:00. So yeah, come to find out what we're going to talk about, and it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And yeah. And J1Con it's just pretty awesome in general. So yeah, just go check it out. Anime Convention, Philadelphia. Yeah, you can get like lots of info online, or we can actually kind of link you to the event and where it is and so on and so forth. But yeah, definitely should just check it out just because.
Yeah, j1con.com is the website, and if you are inclined, you can buy tickets at the door the day of.
Yes. Yeah, so it should be pretty awesome. And this is the first time we're kind of doing something like this, so yeah, it's exciting and terrifying. But yeah, let's do the damn thing. I mean, we already signed up for it. So So, all right. So cool. And let's get started with the show. And let's get started with what we've been playing. So Alex is going to go first. So what you got for us?
I finally cracked the seal on this game that I've had for a while. I opened up WipEout, the Omega Collection.
Omega Collection? So is it like all of the WipEouts ever?
No, not all of the WipEouts. It's like more the... So they had like a compilation for the PS3... That was WipEout HD, which was pretty much most of the tracks. I don't think it was all of the tracks, but most of the tracks from the PSP games. Mm-hmm. And then they kind of, gave it the whole 1080p reproduction on the PS3. And so the Omega Collection is basically that HD collection from the PS3 with all those tracks and all that stuff, and the campaign races and everything else. But they added on WipEout 2048, which was the Vita game, and they have that campaign bolted on there as well. So yeah, booting it up, it pretty much is, and like the down to the menus, it is the WipEout HD collection for the PS3, cool. Except with the added, section for the WipEout 2048 campaign.
Cool.
Yeah, and
so
it's a lot. It's WipEout. It's really good.
Nice.
I don't know what else to say about it, but yeah, like the new thing for me is the 2048 portion, because I never played 2048 because I don't have a Vita, and for whatever reason that game WipEout 2048 is not compatible with the PlayStation TV, which plays most Vita games, but not that one, and I don't know why, because I don't know that it. Well, maybe it does. Maybe it supports some weird touch features that can't be replicated on the PlayStation TV, but. WipEout 2048 is kind of interesting. It's supposed to be like kind of like a prequel of sorts, because it takes place like in the early days of the Anti-Gravity Racing League, and the ships are kind of more maybe beat up, like kind of like bolted on together. They're not as sleek and as futuristic as you might be used to from the other WipEout games. So it's kind of like them starting out like in the anti-gravity, building these craft and putting them out to race and blow each other up and shit. But I don't know, it's kind of weird just seeing the differences that I'm used to, because like I think they have they name the different like leagues, like the speed leagues differently. I think they're like assigned letters or something like that, and you don't get, as far as I don't know, you don't get like bronze, silver, and gold medals depending on how you place in the events. It's either like a pass, or if you do really well, you get an elite pass for that event. Yeah, and then there's other weird things in the game. Like, for the most part, it's still like the same gameplay as like the PSP era WipEout games, where you can absorb weapons to replenish your ship energy or your ship health, and you can do barrel rolls to do speed boosts when you're in the air, but at the cost of your ship health. So it's got that little mechanic that I like from the modern WipEout games, but I don't know. There's a weird thing. I haven't fully grasped it because I haven't played a whole lot of it, but it seems like there are different ships. So like even in the same ship like team. So like stuff like Phizar and AG systems and all those, they were always different craft, and they had like their different attributes attached to them. Like one of them has higher speed and better handling and so on and so forth. But even within an individual team, like Phizar they'll have a speed ship, but then they'll also have like a weapon ship, and even those ships have different attributes between them. So like the weapon ship is a lot slower than the speed ship, but I guess it has better weapons, which again has not been a factor in the earlier Wipeout games. It's never been like a stat. Like you pretty much all the weapons are the same and they work the same on all the different ships. And the little that I've played, I've messed a little bit mostly with the speed ship, just because most of the things I've been doing are races and not really weapons based events. So the speed ship is better. But I noticed when I did play with the weapon ship, like some of the weapons were slightly better, specifically the rockets. In the past games, they were pretty much they're like the green shell equivalent from Mario Kart, right? They don't home; they just pretty much go straight wherever you aim them, and they typically throw 3 rockets right at the same time, simultaneously in front of you. When I was using the speed ship, I only got 1 rocket though. But if I'm using the weapon ship, then I get 3 rockets. So I was like, there's like differences based on, I guess it's based on that weapon stat on the ship. So I'm like, that's not a twist that I was expecting in this game. So
it definitely sounds like it's attribute based.
Yeah. So I'm like kind of interested now to see how the other teams are. Because the 2048 campaign, you don't have access to all these ships. Like you start out only with access to Phizar. And then as you like level up your player rank, then you slowly get access to some of the other teams and some of their ships. So I'm gonna try and mess around and play more of the 2048 campaign just to progress through that and see more of those differences. I'm curious if there are any like major differences to the other weapons too, because that was like the only thing that I noticed was that the rocket was like, on this ship it's 1 rocket and the other one it's 3, and now I'm curious how like are missiles affected? How are the mines? Are those differentiated at all? It's got me curious, to say the least. And then there's other things too, like a lot of it's based on XP because you have to like rank up to gain access to the other like ships in the game. So I noticed like especially in like time trial modes, every speed pad that I went over gave me like a certain amount of XP. So you're kind of encouraged to hit every speed pad that you could, not just for like to get the best time, but to also gain the most experience, which I thought was kind of interesting too. The one thing I will say about the 2048 stuff, so far the first couple of tracks that I've seen, there are sections of the track that are, I don't know, they're kind of like these raised banks off of like the normal, like I guess street track, and these built-in sections, they have a very light blue color scheme to them, which matches the same color as the speed pads. So when you're on those sections of track, it kind of makes it hard to see where the speed pads are, which is like kind of bad because, you want to go as fast as possible and speed is very important, obviously, being a racing game. So I don't know what the decision was on that. I don't know if that's how they originally were on the Vita or if this is just something in the translation to the HD version where this is the color scheme we've used for the speed pads and it just so happens to kind of clash with this section of the track.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you can kind of see it. Like there's like a little maybe a white shimmer on the edge of the speed pad, but it is still super hard to see because like it's all like just that light blue, and I'm like, like I just have to, I guess with experience and like knowing where everything is, then you'll finally know. But at a glance, it's like almost impossible to see those speed pads when you're racing at like whatever hundreds of kilometers per second. Well, not per second, but per hour.
Yeah, I was going to say what?
Yeah, that's a little too fast. Now we're past the speed of light at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still like it. Yeah, I'm kind of I guess a bit underwhelmed. Like I was very much hyped for the WipEout stuff, more WipEout in my life, but because it's so much of it is just WipEout HD, which is still fantastic, but it's the only new thing for me again is just the 2048 stuff. So that's kind of the thing that's compelled me, but I'm still kind of interested in checking out or or I guess earning more stuff again in the or redoing the HD and the Fury expansion packs and getting those medals again and testing how well my my WipEout skills have endured. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Music's pretty good too. Most of it's all right. I wish they kind of let you select which songs you could, or like maybe preview all the songs to see which ones, and like maybe toggle certain songs on and off.
Yeah.
But I think the only option that they give you, at least in the beginning, maybe they unlock this later on, but you only have the choice between every song, or you can pick between club songs or drum and bass songs. And that's how they divide them. I'm like, okay, that's a bizarre thing. So I don't know. After a couple of tracks or after a couple of races, I eventually switched to just drum and bass to see how I enjoy that, because there were some songs that are like, but there's other songs that are like, all right, this is fantastic. But yeah, the WipEout HD, it definitely scratches that itch, that WipEout itch, and I'm glad to be back. But I think I'm curious now too, like how the online is still, if there are people still out there grinding out matches or racing some anti-gravs.
You're gonna have to check and find out, because maybe, you never know. Yeah,
but I still want to go out and earn some more of the different teams and the different craft and all that stuff that I was missing from the PS3 version. Because it's weird going back and starting from scratch again, because I had a decent amount of stuff unlocked on PS3, and now I'm starting from the beginning with nothing. But it's cool, yeah. It's a lot of fun. Again, the main thing I really miss from the last version is that on the HD collection, you could do custom soundtrack on the PS3. And I put on a bunch of like the older WipEout songs just for like nostalgia's sake, because some of those tracks are really fucking good. And now I can't do that unless maybe I do it through Spotify or something, through the PS4 app, but it's not the same. Man. It's not the same.
Yeah, that's definitely not the same.
Yeah, but yeah, that's my only other gripe really is the music is all right. It's fine. It works for the game, but I wish there was more options. I wish, like I remember them saying that Cold Storage, who was one of the on staff music producers on the early WipEout games, they were actually in talks with him to get music for this Omega collection, but the deal didn't work out in time. Some like paperwork thing on both ends or something stupid like that, and he ended up not being able to get his music back on WipEout Omega collection. So I was like, oh man, that would have been great, but it wasn't meant to be, I guess. But other than the WipEout collection, I played Virginia.
You played Virginia?
I played Virginia. Yes, it's a video game, and it's called Virginia. Mm-hmm. And it takes place in the state of Virginia.
I figured. So what is it? What is it about? Like, why Virginia?
So that's the thing. Like, okay, this game is a 2-hour experience.
Okay.
It is an adventure game. Or as most people like to say, it's a walking simulator. I don't like to use that term, but it kind of gets the point across as to what it is. It's a first-person game. You're kind of going around and interacting with things. But it's like, I don't want to say a lot about it, because it's pretty much just about the story. There's not a lot in terms of the gameplay. You're just kind of walking around and sort of interacting with certain things. There's not a whole lot of exploration. You pretty much just have the one thing you can, interact with, like, go here, press the button on this thing, and then something happens. And then you just kind of watch the scenes unfold. But I guess, so it definitely does have like this filmic quality to it. I don't think I've seen this in other games, but they do a lot of like jump cuts in the middle of you playing the game. So there aren't like any cutscenes or anything. So like let's say you're walking down a hallway. It's like this kind of like long hallway. You're supposed to meet somebody or something. So you're walking down the hallway, and then as you're walking down the hallway, bam, you're in this other section of the building, because I guess the point is like it's kind of a long way from where you are, and they get the point across that way. So it's kind of like, it's almost as if you were watching a movie, so to speak. So you're walking down this hallway in this office building, and then it cuts to you in this stairwell going down towards the basement. And then you go down like a flight of stairs, and then bam, jump cuts again, and now you're in pretty much deep into the basement and looking for this like office room that you have to get into, and then you kind of interact with whoever you're meeting with at that point.
That sounds different.
It is.
Like you're right. Like there's no game that would do that, because it would detract from the experience, from the immersion.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of jarring at first. But once I knew like kind of what the game was going for, then I eventually learned to expect it. Like, okay, I'm not going to be stuck doing this thing forever. I'm not going to walk down like this entire hallway. Eventually, I'm just going to be like skipped ahead to the next like sequence.
Huh.
The other interesting thing about this game is that there is zero dialogue.
Really?
Yeah, it's told, the whole story is told just like you like going and interacting with different things and kind of seeing how things act out just purely visual. And the score kind of like fills in everything that would be, I guess, spoken. There's a lot of music. There's a lot of score. There's also, like different soundscapes, like the Foley, I guess, of the game is, you'll definitely hear that. It's just you'll never hear anybody talking, either to you or, amongst each other or anything like that. There's zero dialogue in the game. But yeah, the score is very much kind of filling that void.
Okay.
I'm trying to be as vague as possible, because, a lot of the enjoyment of this, or at least that I got out of it, was just in the discovery of everything. But I will say it is kind of a detective story. And it's kind of weird trying to follow like that kind of story where no one is speaking. There are times where you're looking at documents, and at least the first couple of times I was like trying to like read documents, the cut would happen, and I wasn't able to like fully like comprehend what I was doing. Like I was tossed a file or something, and I had to read, or I assumed I had to read the thing, but I didn't fully get what I was supposed to do or what my purpose is in all of this. But eventually throughout the story, I was able to pick up like, okay, this is kind of what's happening. But there are like points later on where you do get to read stuff, like because it's, important to the overall story. But yeah, it's I'm trying to remember what exactly it says when you start the game, but I think it says something like press X to take a trip, or something to that effect. It's and that is very purposeful, I think, that phrasing at the beginning of the game, because it's kind of like you're on a drug trip at times, because there is like also, it is like this sort of grounded detective story, but mixed in between there are some like surrealistic things happening. They do a lot with visual motifs and repeating those motifs, and I've had like out of body experiences in the game. It's certainly a thing. It's a trip. It's absolutely a trip. In more ways than one, yes.
That sounds. I don't want to say this. I don't want to say this. I said it sounds trippy, but. I can't think of another word right now, like to describe it, but it sounds different.
It is totally different. It's there's a lot of like visual symbolism going on, a lot of which I'm like still like trying to rack my brain to piece together, because I'm not fully sure I comprehend everything. I understand some things, but not everything, and the ending is very ambiguous, let's say. Things happen. And
is this a game that requires multiple playthroughs, or just one is fine?
I think multiple playthroughs will definitely be helpful. I don't know that they're necessary, but if you're the type of person that enjoys trying to decipher like this visual symbolism, then yeah, like maybe, extended or repeated playthroughs would be helpful. It does have like a chapter select though when you finish the game, so that might be helpful as well. So like if you want to see a specific scene and try to decipher what exactly happened there, you can definitely do that. It's a fucking weird thing. I liked it a lot. The only thing, like kind of like a warning, if you do get motion sickness, this game might not be for you because the entire thing is first person, and they have like a whole lot of head bob every time you're like walking around and turning the camera. So I could easily see that like affecting people who get motion sick. But other than that, it's a really accessible game. Like there's not a lot you have to do like gameplay wise. You just have to walk around in first person, aim at the thing, and then interact with the thing, and that's pretty much it.
Cool.
But yeah, it's a lot of the imagery definitely sticks with you, or at least it does with me. And again, I'm not sure about a lot of things in this game. But it's definitely thought provoking at the very least.
I mean, there have been a lot of games that are in similar fashion where very visual, no dialogue, and you just kind of have to decipher what's going on for yourself.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, depending on what clues the games give you and whatnot, like Limbo and Inside and Journey and, you know, like those types of games. So that's cool that the visual aspect is at least popping out to a point where you're kind of like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and the art style is kind of interesting too. It has like this low poly kind of style to it. Actually kind of reminiscent of The Witness. Very colorful too. Like I think the main menu of the game, it has like a kind of like a fold out map of the area that you are in Virginia. And it's got this like really nice like watercolor like hand painted look to it. It's very cool. And I think
is it I was gonna ask, is it present day or is it like in the past or what?
I believe it takes place in 92. So it's not quite present day, but it's, you know, it's close enough. It takes place in the fictitious town of Kingdom, Virginia.
Kingdom, Virginia. Yeah, there's no kingdom here. Okay.
Yeah, but it's definitely an interesting thing for sure. And it's really cool that it's short. You know, it's basically the length of a movie. Which I've kind of heard also, I think when the game came out, like a lot of comparisons to like David Lynch and Twin Peaks specifically, not those things that I'm familiar with. So I can't necessarily say if those are like true or not. But I definitely did see those comparisons floating around a bit. So if that's the sort of thing that you like, maybe Virginia might be worth checking out for you. But yeah, it is a definite fucking mind trip for sure. Especially towards the end. It's like, man, there's like one particular montage toward the end where it was like, I guess things were happening for the character. They were kind of like getting flashbacks or flash forwards of their potential future, and like good things were happening to them, but it was kind of like at what cost? Like they kind of had to sacrifice a lot to earn all those good tidings. But it was like, man, I was just watching that whole montage of them getting like accolades and stuff, and I'm just like, man, this fucking sucks. I thought it was like the saddest thing in the world, even though like, you know, they should be happy about it. But it was like, fuck no. If I were in those shoes, that would be like, it would be the most depressing thing to me right there. It's yeah.
It sounds pretty interesting. I might want to check it out.
Yeah, again, it's like not a big time investment. I think the reason I had it is it might have been like a PlayStation Plus game, so I don't know if you may have it already in your library, but if not, it's probably not super expensive. Like I would guess $15-20 on at least PSN.
Okay.
I believe it's available on PC as well, but I'm not 100% sure on that, but I played it on PS4. But yeah, Virginia, man, it's a thing.
Sure is. It's also a place.
It's sure, yep.
A real place.
It might even be a person.
Yes. There are people named Virginia.
There are indeed. But yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, definitely check that out. That's fucking weird, man.
I just might, just on principle, I might just like take a look at it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so cool. Thank you. And so as far as what I've been playing, well, I've still been playing Sonic Mania. I can't stop playing this game. There's so much to do and so much to see and so much to do. So basically over the past week, I spent my time. Well, I've beaten the game with all the characters and like all the combinations of the characters, and then I spent my time backtracking and getting those Chaos Emeralds and trying to get medals. So the Chaos Emeralds took me a little bit, but I finally got the hang of the new special stages. So
okay,
I can pretty much get all the Chaos Emeralds in one shot now. Like it used to be, like the good old days. So like first playthrough, just get all the Chaos Emeralds on the way. Like by the second stage, you have them all.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I got all the Chaos Emeralds with all the characters. So speaking on that, all three of them transform. Now they all have their super forms. So the interesting thing is with Tails in the previous games, in the older games, that you had to have all of the super emeralds in order to transform into super Tails, because Tails didn't have like a normal super form with the normal emeralds.
Okay.
But now you do. It's easier. They're just like, yeah, let's just put them in there. Sure. So yeah, there's Super Sonic, Super Tails, and Super Knuckles. Yeah. And Super Sonic and Super Knuckles, I gotta say, like, first of all, like their transformations are animated like really well now. Like it's not just like an instant transformation. It's like it's like maybe like 2 seconds long.
Okay.
And it's like really, like they really like put the animation into it. Like when they curl up into a ball and then like kind of explode with energy. And I'm like, oh shit. And it's really cool too, because their idle animation is like they're breathing like really like heavy with power. Like you can tell like they're really powerful when they're like breathing as their super forms. And I'm like, this is pretty awesome.
That's dope.
So yeah. It's like you can like, not only you can definitely feel the difference once you start moving with the characters, but it's like you can see the difference. Like with all of their animations, like Sonic still has when he crouches in supersonic form, he still has the football stance.
Okay.
Like he's ready to take off, and Knuckles and Tails are the same. But yeah, Supersonic, same. He's pretty much the same though, I would say, as he always was. Jumps higher, runs faster. He's super invincible unless he gets crushed or falls into a pit. Mm-hmm. And yeah, there's not much more to Super Tails and Super Knuckles. Super Tails can fly for a lot longer, and he's also invincible and runs faster, jumps higher. Same with Knuckles. Knuckles can. The only thing with Knuckles, it's like Knuckles always gets shortchanged. He's always been shortchanged, but he basically jumps higher and runs faster. But when he jumps higher, it's like he jumps the same height as Sonic and Knuckles could normally. Okay. Now. So I'm like, damn, that sucks. I'm like, his super form, he needs to be in a super form to jump the same height as Sonic and Tails. So yeah. But and also, so there is a true ending in the game. But the thing is about the true ending, there's like a true final boss. But the only thing about it is that Sonic is the only one that gets to fight the true final boss.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, what? I'm like, why not the other two? But I get it, because it was kind of the same in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, if I'm not mistaken, where if you were Super Knuckles, Knuckles had a different path altogether, but if you were Super Sonic or Hypersonic, like you got the Doomsday Zone, which was a special zone just for him. Uh-huh. So yeah, I could kind of see where they were going with that. The new true final boss is pretty cool. It's kind of like all of the heavies, which are the robots that are causing all the trouble. Uh-huh. With the whole like topography shifting and stuff like that. But it's basically like an amalgamation of all of them. And they form this like machine, and they're like flying around, and they can shoot these blasts that can actually decrease rings from you as Supersonic. So you basically have to just fly around the screen and collect rings while this thing is like trying to like blast you with these other things. and then when you do hit it, Robotnik, or Eggman, I should say, Eggman will come out with his machine from the last boss of Sonic 3. Where it was like the pod with the spikes on top and the arms that could pick you up. Yeah. So he comes out with that, and the only difference with that now is that it punches. It can like punch rapidly. So when it punches you rapidly, it kind of pushes you away from it. So basically you have to fight two bosses simultaneously. And that's that's pretty much the whole gimmick with it. And the background is just like kind of this like really like trippy, like warp black hole looking like area. So yeah, but so when you beat the game with Supersonic to get the true ending, you're thinking like, first of all, I gotta say the ending to this game sucks. Like it sucks. Like it's not good. It's like 10 seconds long, not even. And based on the character that you beat it with, like there's just a different like ending splash page. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, all right, let's see what happens with the true ending. So basically that ending is like another 5 to 10 seconds longer. And the end result though is the same thing. It's the same exact thing as when you end the game with Sonic originally. And I'm like, what? Like, really though? Oh man.
Like, I don't know. Like what more would you want from a Sonic ending? I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen the good endings for any of the Sonic games. Like what made those better if they were better? So initially, okay, so in the old games, when you beat the game with, the characters without all the emeralds, you kind of get like the shortchanged ending and it's like, try again. And Robotnik's like, tossing the Chaos Emeralds in the air or whatever that you missed. So then when you do get all of the Chaos Emeralds, then it's basically like it's not much different, but it's at least a lot longer, and you also get a different credit but you get a different credit sequence when you beat the game with all the Chaos Emeralds. Okay. And
that's also kind of like adds to the ending in a way. And it's been like that from like Sonic 2, well, Sonic 1, 2, 3, Knuckles, all of them. So that at least kind of like added more to it. Whereas this in this game, it's like it's the same ending, but it's extended by a few seconds more because Sonic's super form was inside the giant machine that everything was taking place in. I guess the final battle was taking place in. And then like Tails and Knuckles are looking earnestly to see if Sonic made it out alive. And then one of them points, I think it's Tails, he points and you see like the whole machine explodes and then you see Sonic's face like as like the fireworks form his face. And then he comes out and then it's the same fucking splash page as Sonic. And I'm like, what? I'm like, that's it? And that's it. That's literally it.
You know what?
Same credits, same everything. And I'm like,
I don't know what this says about me, but as you were describing that, I was like, holy shit, that sounds just like the Mass Effect 1 ending. Everyone's digging through the rubble looking for Shepard, and then there he is.
Yeah. There he is. He made it. Yeah. But yeah, that aside, that's not, that doesn't detract too much from the game itself. I'm just making a note of that. But so then after you get the true ending and so that's it for that. Now I'm really, really trying to get all of the medals. So now I've gotten 29, I believe, of 36.
Those are when you do the like the Sonic 3 bonus mode?
The Sphere game.
Okay.
Yeah, the Sphere game. And they're not joking around with the Sphere game, man. Like they took they have like some of the levels from Sonic 3, some of the levels from Sonic and Knuckles. I think even probably some of them from Sonic 2 and Knuckles when you combine those. But there are some that I think are brand new to this game, and I'm like, yo, these are fucking hard. Like I was always really good at the Sphere game. Like I could do the Sphere game with my eyes closed for both Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles. Even more so Sonic 3, but these new Sphere games, I'm like, oh. And the thing about those is that it runs at 60 frames per second now.
So it should control better. You should be able to, nail those turns.
It should, but the timing is relatively the same, which kind of fucks you up. Okay. Because you'll sometimes turn early. Because it's too fast. Like it's not too fast, but it's running too smooth. So sometimes you'll turn early, and when you make one wrong move, you gotta like either jump your way out or you're fucked. Like there's literally no other option. So It's happened to me plenty of times where I've turned too early because it's so smooth. Like there's no slowdown, there's no like slight pause when you collect a blue sphere, and I'm like, oh,
you can't cheat anymore, Frank. You got to do it for real.
Nah, there was no cheating. There was no cheating back then, but now I'm like, damn it, it's so smooth, it's so good. And
we have the
timing,
power now.
The timing is all messed up. Yeah, man, it's amazing though. Like I'm just so glad like to see this game running at 60 frames, man. I'm like, fuck. So speaking of that though, like I said last week, with medals you unlock modes. So I actually finally unlocked and Knuckles mode, and I gotta say, as soon as I unlocked Knuckles mode, I did Sonic and Knuckles.
Okay,
and it was pretty awesome. I gotta say.
Can Sonic? I have an important question. Can Sonic ride on Knuckles as he's gliding?
No.
God damn it.
I remember before you could like ride on his back. And there was like a certain game I think you could ride on his back, or maybe it was one of the TV shows. But yeah, like Sonic would ride on Knuckles' back. No, you cannot. But I will say, I believe you can with Tails and Knuckles. You can Tails can carry Knuckles.
Right. That seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah. So the thing I wanted the most, I was just like, I hope they could do it. I hope we can do this. I wanted to be able to control Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Like all three together.
Yep.
You know, I don't care about the mayhem or what happens to them, but you can't do it. So
that's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can do Sonic and Knuckles, Tails and Knuckles, and even Knuckles and Knuckles, but you can't do Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. And I'm like, fuck. Been wanting that since like Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Like there's like one moment in Sonic 3 and Knuckles going back where Knuckles is trying to get I'm not sure if you remember it, but Knuckles is trying to get the Super Emerald from Robotnik when Robotnik's trying to like steal it again.
Okay.
When you're in Hidden Palace Zone. And there's like one instance where you control, not you, but the AI controls both Tails and Knuckles, and you can like run as Sonic, and it's like, oh, it's so cool seeing the three of them like run, but it only lasts for like 2 seconds max. And then after that, like you get shot up to Sky Sanctuary Zone, and then that's it.
Someone must have done like a ROM hack of that at some point, right? That should be a thing.
That might be. It definitely sounds like it, but the thing is, I'm not sure to what extent. You know, I'm hoping that, like, I've always wanted it. And I hope that with this game they would actually like make it happen. But I tried, man. Like, basically, what happens is, also another thing is that you can't. So the thing that sucks with generally, with the extra modes or like the secrets, you have to do a no save. You can't play the game as like Sonic and Knuckles, for example, with a save file.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, it's super weird. And so you can also unlock like abilities for Sonic, for example, like because Sonic is the most versatile of the three. So Sonic, like you can unlock his Insta Shield from Sonic 3. You can unlock his Charge Run from Sonic CD, and you can so it's basically just those two, I think, for now. But again, that as well is part of the secrets, and that you have to do a no save. So I played the game with Sonic and Knuckles, and I beat the game with Sonic and Knuckles, but I had to go straight through the game.
Yeah,
like no saving at all, and I'm like, that sucks. I wanted a Sonic and Knuckles file and a Tails and Knuckles file, and so on. But yeah. So
that's weird.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like, what? I'm like, why? So I'm hoping that they'll put a patch in there that'll be like, oh, my bad. We were just trying it out, seeing how it works. And I'm like, I don't think it's too much for the game to handle.
Maybe it's time to look into the PC version that's coming next week, and maybe some intrepid guys will mod that in there.
You know what? I'm pretty sure they will. And if they do, I might get that version. I might get that version and play it. And so I was just saying before the whole no save thing is that I tried to do like Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, because I did Sonic and Knuckles instinctively. I'm like, oh my God, this is actually happening. And So I tried Sonic and Tails. I'm like, please let this be the case. And so at the beginning of the game, Tails kind of like flies down like normally, right? But now it's Knuckles gliding down. They replaced Tails with Knuckles. Okay. And I'm like, fuck. So yeah, also another note with and Knuckles mode, they adjusted his speed and his jump height to match Sonic or Tails because he can't, he normally can't run as fast or jump as high as them. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I even knew that.
Oh yeah? Yeah, it's true. But when he dies, he just kind of like glides in just like Tails would. It's kind of funny actually.
So like straight down?
Straight down.
That's bizarre. That's super weird.
He'll glide straight down just like Tails would. And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, he should like come in at an angle. That's bizarre.
Yeah, he just straight down. He just comes right down, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. But it's still pretty tight though. Like it was just like to me, it was like really cool just being able to do Sonic and Knuckles like together. I'm like, that's awesome to me. I just wanted the three of them. It's not too much to ask, but yeah. Yeah, man. So I also unlocked with more medals. I'm getting closer with these medals with the Sphere game. So I have 7 stages left. So I'm going to be repeating the same 7 stages, and I know I'm going to get them. I got 2 today, and so it went from 9 to 7. So I'm going to get them. But there's one extra mode that I haven't unlocked yet, and I'm wondering what it is because I unlocked one of the 2 extra modes that you unlock are Mean Bean Machine. You can just play Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine forever,
like the full-on version of Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
I don't think so, but they do have basically let you play against a CPU or against a second player, and you just play in levels like level 1 through 5, where 1 being like the easiest version and 5 is like where everything comes down like super fast. So, but yeah, it's basically like I think the multiplayer version of the game, but it's not like there's no real like one player version of the game, but it's the competitive version of the game.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I've unlocked that, and I've unlocked the DA theater mode, or the DA, it's basically the sound test.
Okay.
So yeah, you got to like earn that sound test. So I think it took me 28. It took me 28 medals to unlock that sound test. So
man,
but
I miss sound tests.
Yeah. Oh, actually no. So sorry, there are 4 modes. I've also unlocked debug mode. So debug mode was pretty awesome. I can actually like debug the game to play the Sphere games constantly, so I can get all those medals, but I just want to do it legitimately because I do like going through the game.
Does that mean you can play as, instead of playing as Sonic, you can play as like a ring?
A ring? Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. I didn't test out all of the things that you could play as, but yeah, you could play as like a ring, you could play as like a ring box.
Okay.
Or you can play as like a set of spikes.
Nice.
But that's pretty much all I saw, but there's more that you can do.
All right.
So yeah, it's pretty tight. But yeah, man. I've been playing this game every day since it came out, man, and I'm still in fucking love with this game. It's so good. And they've just done such a great job. And yeah. Like I have the PS4 version, and I'm considering getting the Switch version just for the portable aspect. But I also got the collector's edition, which I haven't opened, and I don't think I'm going to open. So,
oh Jesus,
yeah. But I've seen like that giant Genesis statue, and I'm like, that is fucking huge. So, but yeah, man, Sonic Mania is pretty awesome. I have to say, it is really good,
especially for a Sonic maniac like you.
Yeah, man. It's pretty fucking awesome. I'm like, they fucking did it, fantastic. And I'm hoping the thing I'm hoping with this game, I'm hoping that it starts a trend. I was talking with my friend about this the other day, but I'm hoping that this starts a trend because this game is basically it's a fan made game that just happened to be licensed by the publisher, by Sega.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that this starts a trend because this game completely like like to me, like it is a worthy sequel to Sonic 3 and Knuckles, like after those games.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that this starts a trend that makes like developers, or it makes publishers, major publishers, see that, hey, maybe we should leave some of our IPs, we should give some of our IPs to fans who really appreciate the source material, and then we can fund them, and then we get the money back in return with quality games, with a quality game, and people will buy, this game, because I think Sega made the right move with this, because this game is also selling like fire.
Yeah, they
like
kind of realized.
Right.
Yeah, they realized that they couldn't do it themselves. They couldn't crack the Sonic formula.
Man. Yeah, man, and like we all know about the Streets of Rage remake, and like if they did that, like if Sonic Mania, well, I'm not saying if Sonic Mania has already been very successful, and with Sonic Mania, like they could like do a legit Streets of Rage remake funded by Sega, and like even if they put the one that's currently available like out, like people would buy that shit because that game is fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
like it's basically Sonic Mania but Streets of Rage, and it's like holy shit, this is amazing.
Yeah,
I just hope this starts a trend with like other major developers. Like let's hand off like some of our, maybe not some of our major IPs, because Sega was like, that's our fucking mascot, but like let's hand off some of our IPs to other to fans and see what they can do with it.
I feel like in a way that sort of is happening. It's obviously not in the forefront, but like I know a lot of like PC modders, especially like back in the day, they would mod these games and put stuff out there, and then the people that made those games, they would catch their eye, and they're like, hey, do you want to work for us, and bring them in the fold, and like no company's gonna give their IP to just some random Joe Schmo's like, yeah, I'm the number one fan of this thing. Like, you kind of have to prove.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, I mean, absolutely. I'm not saying it's like going to be like some dude on the street or some girl on the street that they're going to be like, hey, you want to make a game for us? Because seems like you really liked it. No, I mean, yeah, of course, there has to be, because like Sonic Mania, for example, the game is basically made by modders.
Yeah.
Like they have modded the games before, and they have the experience, and they're just like, yeah, you guys seem like you really appreciate the material, and you really know what you're doing. So let's take a chance and let's make a game together, and yeah, we'll fund you. And then this is the result. It's a fucking amazing game.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that that's the case.
Yeah. And I guess sort of on a related note, I don't know if you heard, but apparently the guy that did the AM2R, that Metroid 2 remake that eventually got cease and desisted, he's now working over at Moon Studios.
Is he?
He is, yeah.
Oh, boy. So I'm hoping he's working on some Ori.
He sure is, yeah.
He is?
Yeah. I mean, what the fuck else are Moon Studios working on?
Shit.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. Man, that's going to be awesome. He's working on some Ori. Oh, man, I can't wait. But yeah. Yeah, but I'm hoping, again, I'm hoping that this more kind of like more or less starts a trend, and I'm sure that's like 80%, maybe 90% of like indie developers, want, they want to kind of, make a game that's similar to a game that they really love, that's already been made, that they really love, and then hopefully the developer will be like, hey, it's kind of like our game, but we like what you're doing, so come on with us and let's see what we can do together. And yeah, because I'm telling you, when you got the experience and people really appreciate your product, you never know what could happen. So, but yeah, man. So that's been my tryst with Sonic Mania. I will be talking about it some more in the future.
Of course, the never-ending tryst.
Well, I think I'm actually gonna go for 100% with this one, man. Like, I've never really paid attention to trophies before, but I think I'm gonna go for all these trophies now.
Have you ever gotten a platinum yet?
No, I've never gotten a platinum trophy on anything.
Does Sonic Mania even have a platinum trophy?
I don't know. I haven't checked. I will double check that. Probably when we get off. but yeah, I guess it does. I thought like every game had like at least one.
No, it's certain games, like you have to, I guess, I don't know if Sony, how involved they are in the process, but there has to be like some certain criteria Because I think like the Telltale games, they don't have platinum trophies. I think partly because their trophies are like almost guaranteed. If you play that game to its entirety, you're going to get all the trophies. All.
Yeah, that's true. Well, all right. Well, yeah. No, I'm definitely gonna try to check that out. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to go for all the trophies on this. I've unlocked some. Like when you get all the Chaos Emeralds, they call it the Magnificent Seven.
Okay.
And I think there's a part in like Hydra City Zone where it's Hydra City Zone Act 2, I think, where it's weird. They put a boat like on top of the water.
Okay.
And if you ride the boat like enough back and forth, the trophy's called Boat Enthusiast. And I'm like, okay. And to ride the boat, you have to basically just walk on it. If you run on it, you run off of it. So just walk on it from one side to the other side. And it's like, oh, Boat Enthusiast. I'm like, all right, I'll get off the boat now. But yeah, no, I fucking love this game, man. Those remixes blow my mind still every time. And yo, I legit like all of the zones in this game. Like, even though, again, it's heavily skewed towards old zones from older games, but I legit like, the new zones are also really awesome in their own way. So, yeah, man. Good. So good. But, all right. So, that's it for Sonic Mania for this week. Sonic Mania Corner for this week. But, so we're going to go into headlines. And before we do that, you should go to initiatygeeks.com so you can follow along with us. So, first up, we have a teaser for a game that people have probably been waiting for like a decade. And that game is Shenmue 3. Yay! It actually has a legit like teaser. And the teaser is right here on this very article that we are linking to you. And yeah, I'm just thinking about what you sent me. The video just shows a whole lot of Ryo and him like just doing stuff with Shenhua. That's her name, Shenhua?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it shows him with her, and yeah, there's no voiceover, there's no voices yet. I guess they haven't recorded it yet, obviously, probably. But the game, the thing I did take from this trailer is that the game looks very, very, very like old school, like similar to like Shenmue 1 and 2. Whereas like the art style hasn't really changed, and it even seems like the animation to a degree hasn't really changed, and I think that's on purpose. But yeah, this game is happening, and I mean. Some of the things in the trailer were kind of funny. What did you think of this whole thing?
I have no like real, I guess, connection to the Shenmue series, so kind of ambivalent. But yeah, seeing this trailer, I was not impressed. It looks like it was like people in 2001 making this game, but with like 2017 hardware, and they didn't fully comprehend everything that you could do with that hardware.
The tone that you took kind of explains it perfectly, where you're like, well, they could do more, but do they want to do more? Do they know they could do more? Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, yeah, it's kind of like towing a line where it's like, I don't know if this is intentional or they just don't know what they're capable of, like what the hardware is capable of these days.
Or maybe it's still like early, like they're still at least a year and change out from release. At least for the proposed release.
According it doesn't seem like the game is anywhere near done.
Yeah,
right now. So much remains to be seen, but I don't know.
Yeah, just like specifically the character models, the faces, they look like
dated. Yeah.
Like the scenery looks amazing. Like it does. The landscapes and all that is beautiful. But when you have characters moving around and animating, it is jank.
Sketchy. Yeah.
It is not of this decade.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, do they, because it seems like they got the backgrounds like legit. They look beautiful. But do they know that they could kind of apply that same aesthetic to the characters, to the character models?
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't seem like it. But again, that's why I'm like, I don't know if they know what's happening. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, so Shenmue 3 it has a teaser now. And again, you can watch it on that link there. And yeah, just let us know what you think, because some of it's pretty hilarious.
If anything, I do kind of hope this does succeed so that Yu Suzuki can finally do Virtua Fighter 6.
Virtua Fighter 6.
God damn it.
Yeah.
You're wasting your time with Shenmue 3. You should be making another Virtua Fighter. Come on.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I think Shenmue has a bigger following than Virtua Fighter. Even though, because Shenmue was supposed to be like 10 games or something. They had planned for that, and it developed a huge following, and then it kind of just fell off.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Virtua Fighter's been continuing, but I think after Virtua Fighter 4, it was kind of like now
kind of fell off.
Unfortunately, no one plays Virtua Fighter now, you know?
Yeah.
So,
which is a sin. It's criminal.
But hey, like you said, if this is successful, and it has a pretty high chance of being so, people have been waiting. So it could spark that fire to make Virtua Fighter 6 or just another Virtua Fighter.
Yeah, if anything, it's just a pipe dream that I'll cling to my dying breath.
Oh, well, we'll see what happens. Maybe you might not have to die to see the next one. So yeah. So in other news, speaking of games that you say you're not very familiar with that game, but you're very familiar with this game. Yeah. So they announced a few days ago. BioWare announced a few days ago that Mass Effect Andromeda will get no DLC for single player support. So that will come to an end, and it marks the first time in the series that a Mass Effect game will not have any DLC following launch.
Yeah,
and that's pretty disappointing. It's only been out for 5 months, and they've already pretty much pulled the plug on it. And I think in this day and age, I think it's officially like a death knell for the game, because they're not supporting it anymore.
At least not the single player. It seems like they're going to continue with the multiplayer stuff.
Multiplayer, right? But yeah, this is pretty bad. This is pretty sad news. Then the game, the writing was kind of on the wall. I didn't expect them to go so extreme so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, yeah, the writing was kind of on the wall. Mass Effect Andromeda was not received well critically and commercially. So they said that they do have like we just said, they do have plans to provide multiplayer DLC, and they also have some stuff in store for multiplayer. At least I guess some announcements in store for N7 Day, but again, multiplayer faceted only. So yeah, what do you think about all this? I know you have to weigh in.
Yeah, it's again, the writings was on the wall. It was kind of happening. It was expected. It's still a shame, man, that this game came out in the state that it did, and it's hard not to put that blame directly on EA, like the publisher, because there's also a link, I think, to another report that came out a while ago, but they were saying that this game, Mass Effect Andromeda, most of it came together in only 18 months, which is not enough time for a game of this scope.
A game. Yeah, like a AAA game. Yeah, no way.
Yeah, especially at what they were trying to achieve, like a brand new galaxy and a whole new planets to explore, and it's just not enough, and it definitely suffered for that, which is a crying shame, because there's so much potential, but yeah, I am disappointed, but yeah, it sucks, especially now that the game is kind of stuck in this current state, because there's still plenty of bugs. I forget when the last time I played, but I played after they had did some round of patching, but even then there's still crazy bugs. There was one point where I was following a quest line, and I fought some bad guys in this open area outside, and I had to interact with a computer terminal to and then that triggered some a cutscene dialogue sequence or whatever. as I was in that dialogue sequence, and it was kind of extended, and I had like to make choices during it, but there were some like enemies that spawned in as I was talking in the terminal for this story thing, and like it was like some like spider thing, so it came right up to me and was attacking me while I was trying to listen to this important story dialogue.
And was your life like going away?
Hell yes, it was
happening.
Oh
my god, that's terrible.
I was literally dying, and the cut or the dialogue was going on so long, and I'm like, fuck, I want to finish this, but I want to pick the right choice because this is sort of important, or at least it was important to me at the time. And then I died.
That sucks.
And then I reloaded. I did that whole same thing, and then I swept the area. I'm like, I gotta find all these spider fucks so they don't come and do the same thing again. And once I was satisfied, I did the terminal thing again, and the same thing happened. Another enemy spawned in and just killed me. I was like, fuck this shit. Fuck it. But yeah.
Oh, God. Fuck that shit.
But yeah, the game is still like a mess. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
That sucks. Oh, my God. That's terrible. That's terrible.
I have a folder of like other weird glitches in the game, but yeah, maybe I will do something with that later on. But it is crazy.
Oh my god! But yeah. So due to stories like that, it seems that BioWare has pulled the plug on Mass Effect Andromeda, and I hope it doesn't mean like the death of the franchise. Or it could hopefully, I'm not sure if they would get like any more funding to create another Mass Effect, at least a numbered title. Mm-hmm. Maybe they could do like a last hurrah. But yeah, hopefully this doesn't mean like anything bad for the franchise.
It feels like it's maybe too big to fail. Like it'll come back later on at some point. I don't know how long it's going to go into like hibernation or whatever, but like they also mentioned stuff like, oh, we're going to continue telling stories in Andromeda Galaxy and like comics and our novels and other transmedia crap, which have never been great. Like the novels at least have been okay. Like at least the first three. I haven't seen if they even put out more novels than that, but yeah, it's sad. The games are supposed to be like the crown jewel of this Mass Effect franchise, and they bungled this last one. And it's like, oh man, it's I'm gonna finish that game eventually, but it's
man,
it's going to be painful.
Yeah, I imagine. I can imagine. That's how I was with Sonic 06, man. Like, the game was just riddled with glitches, and I'm like, I did beat it, but it was super painful and strenuous, and it just took too long.
Yeah.
So I can imagine. I can imagine you're gonna have a tough time.
Yeah.
If you French fry before you pizza, you're gonna have a rough time.
I don't even know what the fuck that means, but okay.
South Park.
I don't know, man.
South Park.
I don't watch it.
With the skiing episode.
Okay.
Oh no, that's a classic episode. But anyway, so yeah. So in other news, so Gamescom is actually happening this week, and Microsoft had their press conference earlier than everyone else, which is why we're only kind of reporting on Microsoft's end right now. It seems like everything is everything is like really kind of delayed over there, like as far as the time difference and such. Mm-hmm. So Microsoft went on before everyone else, so that's why we can only have like Microsoft stuff. But anyway, they on this article is basically a group of trailers for games that they have already announced, or new games, or maybe even peripherals that they have announced. So the first trailer is for Assassin's Creed Origins. Take from that what you will. For any games that you're interested in this article, you can definitely just watch the trailers for yourself. They also announced Jurassic World Evolution.
That actually looks kind of cool.
That does look kind of cool. I checked that out. Like first, and I was like, oh.
It's like Roller Coaster Tycoon, but instead of like theme parks, you're making Jurassic Parks.
Yeah, it's basically a theme park creator with Jurassic Park stuff. I don't know. I just have like really funny images in my head of like you just trying to like just kind of get this kiosk just right, and then like some raptors just come and like wreck your shit. It's like, fuck you.
Like, oh man, they ate my customers. Fuck. What am I gonna do?
Yeah. So, but I just have those images in my head, weirdly enough. But yeah, it does look. That aside, it does look actually kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Especially if the customization is your thing. So. They also announced ReCore Definitive Edition. I'm like, ReCore was kind of just there. Huh?
I thought that came out at some point. I don't know. Or maybe there was an announcement earlier. I can't remember.
No, it says, well, I mean, ReCore, I think, did ReCore come out for 360?
No, it was just Xbox One and PC.
Okay.
But I don't know if it was a patch or if it was this definitive edition that they have the trailer for. But yeah, there was something that maybe they just fixed something in the base copy of ReCore or something. I don't know. I thought that was tied to the definitive edition, but I could be wrong.
It's possible. Well, I mean, ReCore, it says that the definitive edition launches August 29th.
Okay.
So, but they said that if you already do own ReCore, then you can get the definitive edition for free.
Oh, okay. That sounds familiar. So maybe they made that announcement a while back or something.
Yeah, but yeah, so ReCore Definitive Edition, they announced, and it's coming out really soon. They also announced World of Tanks, and it's basically multiplayer tank. A multiplayer tank game. Just get in the tank and blow shit up.
Yeah, that I don't know. That game has been around for a while, and apparently still has lots of people playing it. It's crazy.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can see the appeal. It's just destruction. You need to let out some stress. Get in a tank and just blow everything up. In a game, of course, not in real life. Don't do that in real life.
No.
Nobody. I didn't tell anybody to do that in real life. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself.
That's what video games are for.
Yes. So, and they also had their ID at Xbox showcase at Gamescom. And so there's a couple of things in there that you might be interested in. So check that out as well. And they also announced some peripherals and or consoles. And so they have an Xbox One S Minecraft Limited Edition console. And they announced they announced the Xbox One X Project Scorpio Edition. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, it's the same system as the Xbox One X. There's literally no difference except it just says Project Scorpio on the side.
I guess if you really like that name, you can get it inscribed.
And that's why they have that edition, because they also really like the name Project Scorpio. And on a slightly related note, or in a very, very much related note, the Xbox One X pre-orders went up today, I believe.
Yeah.
So if you are interested in the system, and also the Xbox One Project Scorpio edition pre-orders went up at the same time. So if you want to get your hands on any of those, you should definitely, get on that.
This is also the reason why I was like shaking my head when you announced that you rebought an Xbox One.
Why?
Well, because you should have at least waited for the Xbox One X to at least see if they lower prices again for the S instead of the X.
Well, I mean,
could have got it for even cheaper.
I don't know. I'm good.
Think of the sales.
It's still here. I know. It's still here, though. It's still here. I mean, the Xbox One S isn't going anywhere. It's still here. It's part of my mainstay for right now.
Okay.
But yeah. They also announced Shadow of War, Middle-earth Shadow of War, Monsters of Mordor trailer.
Okay.
So that was just showcasing like the monster designs and the enemies that you will encounter in the game, or that you can ally with in the game.
Right.
So yeah, like a dragon. Yeah, you can ride that motherfucker. So yeah, so that's it for.
Are they dragons or are they Gamescom. I forget what they call Nazgul.
That sounds right. I don't want to say that's right. I'm not sure.
I'm not a big enough Lord of the Rings nerd to know for sure, but it sounds right.
I think that's correct.
Do they even have dragons in Lord of the Rings in Middle Earth? I don't know.
Not in Middle Earth. No, but the name, I'll get it. Don't worry. So that's it for the trailers for Xbox, for Microsoft. Like I said, the other companies, EA, Sony, and so on, will or either have already, probably as we're recording, or like as you're listening to this, they will have already done their press conferences and their announcements. So,
although, you know what, I think they also showed as part of that. I don't know if it's part of the Xbox one, but they showed that Destiny trailer, the Destiny 2 trailer.
Oh, that's right.
Official one, I guess, for the launch. But man, that thing is. I'm so excited to play a Destiny game that has like a fucking dope story, and it is. I mean, it is lit.
It's coming soon.
Yeah. Only.
You got like 2 more weeks.
I was about to say, like, I thought that was a month, but no, it's like 2 more weeks. It's crazy.
Yeah. 2 more weeks and you're good. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy that. I look forward to hearing it for the next like 4 months.
4 months. Like try years. Yes.
Years? Oh, okay.
The expansions, okay. Frank. Come on.
Oh my God. Okay. So the final article that we're going to talk about this week is, did you ever play or at least hear of Fear Effect?
I knew of it. I've never played it.
Okay. So for those people that don't know, Fear Effect was a game that came out in like 2000 for the first PlayStation. And it was like, for its time, it was like super different. It like had like a real mature, dark story, and the
quote unquote mature.
Yeah. The one of the biggest draws to it was its graphical quality, a graphical integrity with the cell shading. It was kind of like I think one of the first times that they tried using that.
Yeah, and they also did a unique thing. Like, they had pre-rendered backgrounds, but they also like threw in like FMV in the background, so like stuff was moving.
Yeah. So you had like, it was like neon signs that were moving in the background, or like people and stuff. Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, so anyway, that game, I would say it's a cult classic at this point. Like, it wasn't like very well received, but it was cool enough that it attracted a lot of people and it had some fans. So they're actually going to remake this game.
Okay.
They say the remake is in the works, and it's supposed to be coming out next year. And it's going to be called Fear Effect Reinvented. And I think there's an indie developer, Sushi, that's working on it right now, and they're trying to keep the original. They're trying to keep as much of the original style as usual, like, you know, the graphics and the camera angles. And the thing is, they said they also want to keep the messed up controls, and I'm like, why would you do that?
Oh. You know, for the hardcore fans, man.
Years later,
for the hardcore fans, you know, it's like, hey, this is the way it played back then. They could do a Resident Evil thing where they keep the old tank controls, but maybe add in more modern controls, or good controls.
You have the option to switch between the two.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. And it's not going to be like a crowdfunded sort of thing. It's already like actually going to happen. It's already been like funded and it's being developed. So it'll be out on like all the systems, and it's the Switch, PS4, Xbox One, PC next year. So
nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I might check it out. I remember liking Fear Effect. I didn't play through it though. I played like enough of it that I remember like, this game's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't remember much of it now though.
I feel like it'll be one of those things that like was really cool when you were a teenager, but maybe doesn't hold up with like adult sensibilities.
I can tell you it definitely doesn't hold up because I don't remember it. So if it didn't leave any kind of impact on me back then, I'm pretty sure it doesn't hold up now. But in any case, yeah. So I'm sure there are fans of the game that are out there that might be listening to this, and yeah, so it's coming. So look forward to that next year. A lot of things happening next year.
Yeah.
So that's it for headlines for this week, and Alex is going to take us through our new and upcoming releases. So go ahead.
Yeah. We've got a bunch of things as usual. it feels like, coming out this week. Some of them snuck up on me, and now we have to play catch-up. But this week, the week of August 22nd, first up, we've got Uncharted: The Lost Legacy is now out for PlayStation 4. I've been hearing some crazy things about this, like particularly there's like a more open-ended section of this game, like more so that's ever been in an Uncharted game.
Yeah, they were saying that it's basically not like not necessarily like open-ended, but they said that it's basically the largest level they've ever designed for an Uncharted game, and it's so big that it feels like it's open-ended. But within that level, you can take like side quests and stuff within that one area, which is like why it feels so big. So that's what I remember reading about as well.
Yeah, so I definitely want to check that out because, man, those.
Yeah, I'm already waiting for it. I mean, as we record, by the time you hear this, I will have already gotten it. But yeah, it's gotten like good reviews too. So
nice.
I'm excited.
Also out this week is Bleed for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Chroma Gun for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Fucking Duck Game is now out on consoles for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I had to make sure because my heart has been broken before by these like local like co-op multiplayer games, but Duck Game definitely does have online, and that is fantastic because Duck Game is amazing.
Pyre, why? Why, Supergiant? Why?
Duck Game has a quack button. That's all I will say.
Cool.
Also up this week, Guardians of the Galaxy, the Telltale series, Episode 3, More Than a Feeling.
I'm sorry. I was going to say something about Duck Game, but I think the moment has passed, but I'm not going to say it. Well, anyway, what I was going to say is that when you said there was a quack button, I said, well, I guess that fits the bill.
Oh my God. What has become of you, Frank?
Yo, what is happening?
I thought I was the pun department of this podcast. What?
That's pretty good.
Trying to take my job. God damn.
All right. I'm sorry. Okay.
As I was saying.
All right.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Next episode is live. It is out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. We have a PS2 classic this week. Jak and Daxter, The Precursor Legacy is now available on PlayStation 4.
And just a side note, if you do get Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, you will get that game for free.
I didn't even know that. Holy shit. That is amazing to know.
Yes.
We've also got Madden NFL 18 GOAT Edition for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. The G.O.A.T edition is you can get that a few.
I was about to say, can you specify
the greatest of all time?
You can play Madden with goats. What?
Yo, that would be so great. Oh my God.
Yeah.
GOAT game and Madden just like have a crossover. It'd be fantastic. Holy shit.
Yo, that wouldn't be so bad.
Oh my God. What? Is there something in the water over there? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yo, it's really hot. It's really hot over here. That's why.
I've never seen Frank this way, but I'm kind of into it too. But yes, the greatest of all time edition for Madden NFL 18. You can get it a few days early because normally it comes out on Friday, and there's like $50 worth of extra stuff in there. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but that's what you get with the GOAT edition. Also out this week, Mages of Mystralia for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Minecraft Story Mode, The Complete Adventure, is now out for Switch. Rivals of Aether for Xbox One. Soul Dimension for PlayStation VR. Super Combo Man Smash Edition is out for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
That name, just by that name, that sounds really cool. I wanted to see what that's all about.
I don't know. I just saw like the cover art and it had like some like almost like pixelated dude like smashing through like a brick wall or something. So I don't know if it's like a 2D brawler or something. I could be wrong, but that's what I just got from that cover art.
Okay.
We also have The Escapists 2 for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Thimbleweed Park is making its way to console on the PlayStation 4 for your old-time like point-and-click adventure game fans. Velocity 2X Critical Mass Edition is out for the PlayStation 4 and Vita. It's pretty much just Velocity 2X with, I guess, a bunch of the expansions and stuff that they included with that, which I didn't even know they put out. But Velocity 2X is pretty cool.
Cool.
Eterno Blade is out for Xbox One, as well as Black Sea Odyssey, also for Xbox One. Masquerada Songs and Shadows for Xbox One. And finally, Path of Exile for Xbox One. We've also got a couple of Friday releases this week. First of which is Madden NFL 18, the Standard Edition. No goats here. It's for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Also on Friday, I don't know. Go ahead, just say it. Do it. Get it out. Get it all out.
When you said no goats here, I was just gonna say you weren't kidding.
Oh no!
Get it?
It gets worse. I didn't know it could get worse.
That wasn't even really reaching though. That was clever.
It was pretty good, but also pretty bad at the same time.
Pretty bad. Yeah, you see, it's catching. There you go. Oh my god.
Breathe in, breathe out. Also out on Friday this week is Formula 1 2017 for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Absolute Drift Zen Edition is now available for the Xbox One. Battle of the Bulge is available for Xbox One. Eventide 2, The Sorcerer's Mirror, also out for Xbox One. Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Legacy for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. And finally, for our Friday releases, One Piece Unlimited World Red Deluxe Edition is out for the PlayStation 4 and PC. And actually, I lied, there's one more on Friday. It's called Never End, is out for the Vita. And the very last thing that I do want to mention is there's going to be a beta this weekend for Call of Duty World War II. That's only if you've pre-ordered that game, and it's only for PS4 this weekend. I believe the beta opens up to other consoles the following weekend. But yeah, the beta for if you pre-ordered on PS4, you can play from August 25th to the 28th. That's this weekend. And get your Call of Duty on and try out that sick multiplayer or whatever they're doing new with this Call of Duty franchise.
Oh, you just reminded me. Speaking of beta, well, the timing of this episode it'll probably be done, but it's not. There's not a beta going on for it, but there's signups for the beta for Dragon Ball FighterZ on August 22nd.
Okay,
and that is
Tuesday.
Yeah,
that's
that's Tuesday. That's gone.
That's like 2 days ago.
That's gone. I know. It's just I probably should have mentioned it last week, but I forgot. But yeah, so signups for that went up. So hopefully, if you got the chance to get on that, yeah, you should play that game for sure. Because I'm gonna try to sign up for that. Yeah,
of course, you're gonna get every single chance you can get to play that game.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for all the new releases and stuff for this week.
All right. So that means we are done with this episode. So before we go, we would like you to visit innercitygeeks.com because that's where we are. And we have a bunch of stuff sometimes regarding everything geek. You can listen to or subscribe to. You can listen to our older episodes and or subscribe to our YouTube channel. And the channel is called Good Games. Older episodes there. This episode will be there. It's just another place that you can listen to our stuff. You can also listen to us on iTunes where you can leave us a review. It's the best thing that you can do for us. Whether you like the show, whether you don't like the show, just let us know what you think about the show so we can improve or stay the same or get better. You can listen to us basically where all podcasts are available to be listened to. And I also want to encourage everyone to click on the Amazon banner on the right-hand side of the page of innercitygeeks.com. Because when you do that, it'll take you to Amazon.com, and I'm sure there's things that you want to buy from Amazon, like maybe pre-order some games or get some games that are on there right now. And every time you do that, a little bit of that will come back towards us so we can provide more show and more content for you. You can reach us on all of the social media outlets. Main ones, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Inner City Geeks. On Twitter, for this show, it is at Good Game Podcast. And you can also email us at goodgamespodcast@gmail.com. And that is going to do it for this one. We will be back again next week. If you happen to be in the Philadelphia area in the next few days, you can go to J1Con and you can possibly come to our panel because we would like to see you. And you get to see us live, sort of. Yeah. So
I mean, sort of.
So yeah,
are you plan on being dead by that point?
Maybe I'll Skype it in. But yeah, now so we'll be there and hopefully we can see you there too. And if you just see us there anyway, just come and say hello. And yeah, that'll be it for this one.
Yeah.
So we're going to say goodbye. And in leaving, as always, we say good games, everybody.
Good games.